no, she looks guilty as hell. And then I'm looking at it and I'm saying, did you really say that? Mm-hmm. Did you really say that Caitlin Clark should think of Heavenly Stars, that she wouldn't be worth anything if she wasn't playing in the WNBA? Did you really say? See, all of these things that Nafisha...
The league office appears to be melting down. Stephen A. Smith just exposed something that should make everyone uncomfortable. The commissioner may be actively undermining her own biggest asset. This isn't about basketball decisions anymore. It's about ego, control, and corporate insecurity. When an individual star becomes bigger than the institution meant to manage her, power struggles start. And right now, it looks like the league is willing to hurt itself just to prove who's in charge.
Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there? Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
Yeah, she can't make it from there.
No chance.
Caitlin, conmigo, let.
You got it. I'm not even gonna ask.
Hey, Caitlin from here might be impressive. Am I right?
Whatever, Che.
So right here.
From there!
Has the WNBA leadership completely lost its grip on reality, or are we witnessing one of the most blatant cases of self-sabotage in sports history? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because what happened next is genuinely unbelievable. Let's break down what actually went down here. Reports began circulating about a new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever star. On the surface, that sounds routine. Star player, major brand, standard endorsement. Except this one apparently detonated inside league headquarters.
Let me clarify first, because it's proxy season, right? No CEO do you just put the base pay in there. You put their bonus, you put their stock options, you put everything. Caitlin has the ability to make up to $500,000 just in WNBA wages this year. So, of course, they're just looking at a base which is collectively bargained. And actually, it's low because she's the #1 pick. She'll make a little more than that. But she also has millions and millions of dollars of endorsements. She's actually, because she declared to become pro, her endorsements are higher in dollar value. She has a global platform now, not just a U.S. platform. So she's going to do just fine, as will the top players in the league, as every league does. Also, there's comparisons to the men. Those men's leagues are 75 to 120 years old. We're tipping off our 28th season. I would say if you looked at them 28 seasons in, we're further ahead. But I realize we still have a lot of work to do, and it's all about the ecosystem.
Now pause for a second and really think about how backwards this is. Your biggest star lands a massive national commercial. One that puts your league in front of millions of people who might never watch women's basketball otherwise. Any competent sports organization would be celebrating. You pop the champagne. You issue a press release. You blast it across every social platform you control. You ride that momentum straight to the bank, but not the WNBA. Instead, the reaction was reportedly anger, resentment, panic, and Stephen A. Smith didn't just casually speculate about this. He all but confirmed it. Smith has been one of Caitlin Clark's most vocal defenders all season, but his recent comments weren't about on-court play or rookie pressure anymore. They were darker, more direct. He wasn't criticizing basketball decisions. He was calling out leadership dysfunction. According to Stephen A., the energy coming from WNBA headquarters isn't pride in their newfound visibility. It's fear. It's jealousy. It's insecurity. Because for the first time in the league's history, one player has become undeniably bigger than the institution itself, and that terrifies people whose power depends on control. This isn't about whether Caitlin Clark deserves the spotlight. That argument is already over. The numbers answered it. The ratings answered it. The sponsors answered it. The public answered it. What's happening now is about something far more uncomfortable. The league realizing it no longer gets to dictate the narrative. For decades, the WNBA operated on collective identity. No one player overshadowed the brand. No single personality disrupted the hierarchy. That system worked, until a genuine superstar showed up and shattered it.
Commercial. Lisa Bluter was in the commercial, Travis Scott was in the commercial, Travis Kelce was in the commercial, Jason Kelce was in the commercial, like the podcast thing, which we're going to get.
When Caitlin Clark appears in these high-budget advertisements, whether it's Wilson, Gatorade, or State Farm, she isn't framed as just another WNBA player. She's framed as a cultural event, a singular force. The production value is cinematic. The messaging is intentional. She looks powerful, independent, and most unsettling to league leadership, larger than the WNBA itself.
It was super hype, and they also launched the campaign from anywhere, which is just perfect for Caitlin Clark. And obviously, fans have been waiting for a CC signature shoe for years. It feels like years at this point. She is now 2 seasons into the WNBA, and we've gotten the signature logo, and we've also gotten some merch, but that signature shoe is what everybody is on the edge of their seat for. And she recently went on New Heights once again to talk about her signature shoe, and she talked about the new technology that will be going in.
For fans, this moment is electric. It feels like validation. Like women's basketball has finally produced a figure who can't be ignored, minimized, or politely sidelined. Caitlin Clark showing up in these glossy big-budget ads doesn't feel threatening to viewers. It feels affirming. It makes people want to tune in, buy tickets, argue about games, and actually care. But for executives like Cathy Engelbert, this isn't excitement. It's a nightmare scenario because the league didn't create that image. They didn't approve the creative, they didn't control the rollout. And most importantly, they don't own the narrative. When the commissioner sees Clark in those ads, she doesn't see growth for the league. She sees something far more unsettling. A player who does not need the WNBA to be relevant. Caitlin Clark isn't borrowing visibility from the league. She's generating her own. She has her own economy, her own gravitational pull, her own brand universe that exists whether the league cooperates or not. That's where the anger Stephen A. Smith keeps alluding to really comes from. In traditional pro sports power structures, leagues hold leverage because players depend on them for income, exposure, and legitimacy. That leverage disappears the moment a player earns more off the court than on it, and everyone in the room knows it. Financial independence becomes negotiating power. And negotiating power is terrifying to institutions built on centralized control. Suddenly, a single advertisement appears and completely demolishes that narrative within half a minute. It makes it clear to viewers that only one individual is truly fueling excitement around the league, and it definitely is not the front office. Instead, the spotlight lands on a shooter from Iowa who can bury attempts from extreme range. The stark difference between the league's dated, low-cost promotional approach and Clark's high-end endorsement partnerships is painfully uncomfortable for those in charge. That discomfort quickly transforms into frustration because it publicly reveals their shortcomings. For nearly 3 decades, the WNBA fought to capture widespread recognition. Then one athlete arrives and achieves in a single year what the organization failed to accomplish over almost 30. That reality has to hurt. Stephen A. Smith has relentlessly emphasized this point. He has highlighted how ridiculous it looks for a commissioner, labeled a business mind, to react emotionally simply because one athlete commands excessive attention. His claim is that the outrage is really hiding professional ineptitude. Each time Clark secures another major endorsement or appears in yet another shareable ad, it throws a spotlight on everything the WNBA failed to achieve over the years. Put yourself in Cathy Engelbert's shoes for a moment. You're running the league. You're meant to be the strategic mind responsible for expanding the business. Yet brands like Gatorade, Wilson, and State Farm end up promoting your game more effectively than you ever managed. That's deeply embarrassing. It makes it look like you're simply not very competent at the role. Rather than adapting, rather than bringing in stronger creative teams to match that momentum, the reaction instead seems to be envy and hostility. Stephen A. Smith also tied leadership mindset to player conduct. If the commissioner appears dismissive of Clark's advertising success, why would rival athletes feel obligated to treat her with any respect? Negative energy flows downward through an organization. When executives fail to shield their marquee attraction and respond to achievement with resentment rather than celebration, it signals to others that aggressive treatment is acceptable. That atmosphere helps clarify the excessive contact, reckless hits, and unnecessary plays witnessed throughout the year. To grasp this frustration, it must be viewed through the league's long-standing background. For decades, governance remained in the hands of an inner circle sharing one philosophy. They framed the WNBA as a mission, an ideological effort, a shared fight for acknowledgement and dignity. Enter Caitlin Clark, embodying individual fame and market-driven success. She clashes with tradition. Her presence upends an intentionally arranged order. One advertisement captures that shakeup flawlessly. It presents Clark as a standout entity, clearly apart from the group. Leadership spent years persuading audiences that the main attraction was the organization itself. They promoted the emblem and the collective identity. Meanwhile, Clark's sponsors position her as a standalone superstar. This clash over what truly generates attention fuels intense tension. Veteran power brokers feel slighted. They sense their groundwork is being dismissed simply because a sharpshooter from Iowa can score from anywhere and suddenly capture the internet's attention. Almost overnight. Everywhere globally. Stephen A. Smith explained that this same mindset is what led to Clark being excluded from the Olympic lineup. That choice came from entrenched leadership attempting to preserve status and issue a warning. Stay patient. Earn your place. But sponsorship companies do not operate on patience. They invest in impact immediately, right now, at this moment. This clash between a sluggish, rank-driven league structure and a rapid, performance-driven advertising industry is creating serious dysfunction internally. The commissioner is caught between both worlds, and rather than adjusting to the shift, she appears irritated by it. Now look at the finances, because professional athletics are ultimately a commercial enterprise. Stephen A. Smith has consistently accused the WNBA of severe business mismanagement, and the outrage surrounding Clark's advertisement perfectly illustrates that claim. In established leagues like the NBA or NFL, when an athlete secures a huge nationwide ad campaign, the league office applauds it. Why? Because it increases the worth of the entire organization. It attracts casual spectators to games. It boosts merchandise sales. So why is the WNBA hierarchy upset? Because they aren't receiving the recognition. Clark's earnings outside the court are completely overshadowing her on-court pay, making the league appear stingy and unprofessional. When casual audiences see her starring in multi-million-dollar campaigns and then learn her WNBA base salary is only about $76,000, it sparks a major PR problem. It underscores the pay disparity and the shortcomings in revenue distribution. The commissioner is fully aware of this. Each high-profile ad serves as a reminder to the public that the league undercompensates its top talent, inviting scrutiny. Fans start asking tough questions like, how is the league struggling financially if this player is generating so much attention and revenue? Instead of addressing the pay structure or celebrating the exposure, leadership reacts with defensiveness. One of the most revealing parts of this whole situation is what the league doesn't do. When Clark's latest commercial dropped, did the WNBA repost it on their official channels? Did they acknowledge her for growing the game's reach? Issue any press statements celebrating the collaboration? Nothing. Complete silence. In the NBA, whenever stars release new signature shoes or major campaigns, the league amplifies it because they recognize it benefits the entire ecosystem. The WNBA's quiet response to Clark's commercial achievement speaks volumes. It confirms exactly what Stephen A. Smith has been saying. Ignoring your biggest star only happens when bitterness is involved. This silence actively harms the league's connection with fans. Millions of new supporters Clark brought in are perceptive. They notice the double standard and the hostility, and are beginning to see league leadership as antagonists. By refusing to embrace her commercial success, the commissioner is drawing a line. It's us versus her. As Smith warned, that's a battle the WNBA cannot win. You cannot fight cultural momentum or the zeitgeist, and Clark is the zeitgeist right now. This tension even bleeds onto the court. If executives openly resent Clark's marketability, it signals to other players that it's acceptable to target her aggressively. Had the commissioner treated her as the asset she is, it would have fostered respect and protection. Instead, the coldness and apparent anger toward her commercial rise effectively remove that safety. We've seen hard fouls, blindsides, and even eye pokes, with league discipline coming slowly and weakly. Smith links this directly. Leadership refuses to shield a player who exposes their inadequacies. They allow jungle rules to apply, maybe hoping to see her falter, to knock her down a peg and claim, see, she's not that special. Yet every time Clark rises and stars in another campaign, it proves them wrong. Stephen A. Smith lays bare the path they've chosen, and it's the wrong one. If this story opened your eyes, hit that like button and subscribe, because this drama is far from over.